long does a painting take? As an artist, this is the question I'm often asked. In this time-lapse video, I'll share with you my painting process, from my sketchbook drawing through to the finished painting on canvas. I'm artist Joanne Wishart, and I'm here in the coastal village of Staithes in North Yorkshire. Embracing the sea weather, I'm here capturing the scene before me in my sketchbook, gathering the sights, colours, tones and textures of the view. Staithes has so much interest to offer me as an artist. I love the topsy-turvy patterns of the rooftops. I'm not focused on the detail. I'm looking for shapes, patterns and colours to form the composition of my painting. I try to keep my mark making as loose as possible to capture the essence of the day and my own experience of this historic place. It's cold and my fingers get cold, so sometimes the weather determines how long I sketch for, and the pace at which my drawings come together. Back home in my studio, I redraw my sketch onto canvas and start to lay down the base layers. It can be daunting to start with a blank canvas, so I like to lay down some texture to build up the composition. Papers, fabric and painting mediums all combine together to create a collage textured effect. Ultramarine blue is my signature colour, which I use as a ground colour, working over my pencil marks to create my outlines. To keep my painting style loose, I hold my brush as far down the handle as possible, and I always paint standing up at my easel. This gives my arm a freedom to move and flow, and what the video doesn't show is the multiple times I step back to look at how it's all coming together. Painting with acrylics is about building up layers for me. I love to paint with opaque colour and drag my brush over the textures to reveal the colours of the underpainting underneath. Sometimes I work with emulsion paint tester pots, as their opaque qualities allow for bold, blocky shapes to form. If I'm splattering paint around on the canvas, I need to allow this piece to dry flat to avoid runs. Often I work on up to 4 canvases at once, so I have something else to work on while a layer of paint is drying on a different canvas. This helps me to work in collections of a similar theme and colour palette, and it's the main reason it's difficult to quantify how long a painting actually takes. When people ask the most commonly asked question, so how long does a painting take you to finish? I find it almost impossible to answer, as there are so many variables. The size of the canvas, the detail involved in the piece, my familiarity with the subject, my mood at the time, and the holy grail of uninterrupted time in my studio to find my creative flow. These factors all come into play when it comes to the time involved. I once remember reading about the Scottish artist John Lowry Morrison, who said it took him 40 years to be able to create a painting in an afternoon. Now, I haven't been painting for 40 years yet, and I would certainly find completing a painting in an afternoon a challenge. But time practicing one's art certainly does improve speed and confidence at completing a painting. Often I find that it's perceived that larger paintings should take me longer to paint, when this is not always the case. I I much prefer to paint on bigger canvases to allow for full arm motion and bigger brushstrokes, and being more expressive with the underpainting. For me, painting small is laborious and constricting, forcing me to over-focus on the detail, taking far too long to finish a piece. Usually my best paintings are pieces which I've painted more quickly, as they have flowed well and I haven't overworked them or made mistakes along the way. So with that thought in mind, I feel you cannot equate time spent on a painting to its overall quality and value. These thoughts of mine have helped to answer the question and bring more clarity to the process and evolution of a painting. Working from dark colours to light, my brushes get smaller and the painting gets tighter. Brick by brick, roof tile by roof tile, I begin to focus on the detail. Then it all starts to come together. Lying my painting flat, I like to work into the details of the window frames with a pen and ink dip pen. One thing this video doesn't show you is the time I spent mixing my colours and curating the colour palette for a painting. Painting back to the village of Staithes where it all began in my sketchbook to show you the finished painting. Thanks for watching. I'd love to know what you think of my painting of Staithes, so please leave your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like to see more of my North Yorkshire paintings, you can find my collection of prints on my website, or I'd love to welcome you to my art gallery in Cullercoats on the North Tyneside coast.